Hello everybody! Yes, I'm finally back in Minecraft. I'm back in Minecraft for a very specific reason. TerraFirmaCraft has caught my interest. Now, I'm actually recording this voiceover after having recorded this, because Audacity, which is what I record my voice on, didn't want to save what I'd recorded, so I lost everything. You've got this commentary instead. Now, if you haven't heard about TerraFirmaCraft, it pretty much rips apart Minecraft and produces something that's much more of a challenge and quite a bit more realistic as far as games get anyway. So you can see all these little grey things on the floor, they're rocks which I'm picking up. There are a lot of different types of rocks, so you've got limestone and granite and marble and all these different things. Now occasionally you can see there's another set of stuff, which is 2. That's a bit of metal. It's just a bit of surface metal. Now you can find these tiny little nuggets as you're punching rocks, and well, there it shows you that there's a calendar. But yeah, you can find these tiny bits of metal which indicate that there is an ore vein underneath. Now in TerraFirmaCraft, metal is fairly tricky to find, at least if you encompass everything, sort of all the area and that. However, when you do find metal, you're pretty much set. You've got all that metal. What I'm finding there, I think, is the zinc type metal. I think I looked it up and it was zinc. So I'm finding quite a bit here, and I'm marking on the floor where I'm finding it. That was a mistake, that one. This will help remind me that I did find metal there, and I can come back and start digging it up when I've managed to forget, excuse me, a pickaxe and a few other tools. In order to make my first pickaxe, I will have to just smelt down the small little bits of metal that I'm getting from these rocks. Now, after I've gotten these rocks, I'll need to get some sticks, which I get from the trees. I'll show you that once I get over, and there are the trees. This is what set me up saying, yeah, this is a good world. Those great big trees there are sequoia trees, and the little ones are pine. There are a lot of different types of trees in this mod, and they all have different burning properties. So some burn longer, some burn hotter, some take longer to grow because everything takes a bit longer to do. I mean, I think the animals actually take something like 7 months in game in order to have babies. It's incredible, really, but it makes more sense. So yeah, here I am punching trees, and you just saw a stick fall there. You can't punch a tree down with your fists. Simple as that. You can't do it. So in order to make tools, you need to punch leaves in order to get the sticks to fall out. So that's what I'm doing at the moment. I'm being very mindful of the time as well, because it goes very, very quickly. There's a hell of a lot to do at any one time, and if you get distracted by doing one thing too much, you really end up messing yourself out. So here I am bashing 2 rocks together. Now I end up getting this display, which means I can chip the stones apart in order to get the shape I want. So for me, it looks like a little fish to make an axe head. So you've got the head bit and the 2 fins and the tail. That's how I remember it anyway. There's quite a few bits and pieces to remember, but that's how it was in Minecraft originally. Now this mod has its own built-in logging mechanic, so it takes a hell of a lot longer to knock down the wood, but it does all come crashing down when you do. Now these 4x4, well, sorry, sized 4 trees are sequoias, like I said, but you cannot get saplings from these, so you can't grow them. It's basically imitating the fact that these sort of sized trees would take a hell of a long time to grow, just not long enough for you to be there, hundreds of years, not just a few months. So you do get lots of wood from it, but you can't. Yeah, that's a mistake I meant. I didn't quite mean to make that many javelins, but I do use them quite a bit. So it's midday at this point. So yeah, you can see the fruit tree over there. There's quite a few around here, which I was ever so pleased to see. There's a lot of different types, but I won't really know until I come into either flower or fruit before I can tell what sort they are. But they'll provide good food for me at least. Now, animals you have to be really careful with here because, you see, I don't want to kill the brown sheep. Yeah, here I am using the javelin. Once you've killed the animals, you're stuffed. They're dead. You have to either enter a new chunk or that's it. Animals do not respawn at all. So yeah, with the increased gestation time and sort of how few animals there are, you really have to be careful how many you kill. Now, sheep still only give 1 wool when you kill them like this. However, pigs and cows, as you'll see later on, give a hell of a lot more meat, and the pigs even give leather now. A lot more leather as well. So that does make up for it. You only need to kill very few cows or pigs in order to get a fair bit of meat. But yeah, it kind of makes sense. So you'll see me gathering quite a few bits and pieces, like the sugarcane. You do need sugarcane quite a bit to make paper for plans and things like that. Now, I'm looking at this area and how flat it is, and I'm quite liking it. So I start to make a little bit of a setup, mainly so I've got a bed to sleep in at the night. Oh yeah, my tools break quite quickly, and I realised that I'd used all my sticks on javelins, so I needed more. Sun's starting to head lower, so I'm starting to panic just a little bit. You know how I generally do. I decided it's better off not to use the javelin and use its durability and just punch the tree with a piece of wool. I'm sure that won't backfire on me when I'm making my bed. You know, sticks in the bed. Wonderful. So yeah, as I said, these are pine trees. So I'll make sure to pick up some saplings as well from these so I can replant them. Trees do take a lot longer to grow. There are different speeds. I think pine trees are actually a fast growing tree. So I'll just research that as well. See, there's a sapling. You can see the different coloured dirt there. Here I am heading back to set up my bed and have a place to sleep before night rolls around. Now, what I've done, as you all know, I'm not very good with monsters. I don't see much point in fighting them, particularly in this mod, as, well, you don't really need experience for anything. So what I've done, you see it looks like a little fish when I finish it off. There you go. Oh, that's a bit. Yeah, there you go. Little fish. So what I've done is I've installed CJB's mod. I'll put a link in the description, which allows me to choose what sort of mobs I want to include in my game. Here's me realising that I'm running out of space. So I have basically said I don't want anything but spiders, and I'm happy with that. As you can see, inventory space gets a little difficult with this mod. There are a lot of different things, and it gets even more difficult when you look at chests. Certain things cannot fit in chests, so I couldn't fit the logs in. I can't fit the javelins in either. Here I am making a log pile. If you hold shift and place a log on the floor, it'll make a log pile, which you can store your logs in. It looks quite nice as well. These are also useful for other things, which I'll show you in the next video, and hopefully the commentary will record that time. So, as usual, you make a crafting table quite normally, and beds again are quite normal. Now, you can make things out of planks, so doors can be made out of planks instead of the wood blocks, although you can make them out of wood blocks too, it just doesn't make much sense. but beds definitely do need the blocks. So yeah, I'm looking around, making sure no mobs are spawning yet, and I'm spamming away trying to get into bed before anything does. You'll notice the texture pack is different to the normal. This is a mix of several texture packs, mostly with Steel Feathers enchanted pack. So there's a few random mobs as well, so I've got that all set up. Optifine's obviously up and running too. But I do like my little mix of textures. It looks very nice. I shan't be offering it for download because I didn't make it, I just put it together. So I'll put a link to a few of the different texture packs that I found, and you can make your own. So yeah, I decide that I want to sort out a chest. This will also show you that most things in my inventory at the moment can't fit in them at all. But when I get a little home all set up, I shall be able to make some tool racks, which I can then keep the tools, surprise surprise, like the javelins and the axes and things, actually up on there. So I'll be able to, I won't have to waste the javelins. So here's me just setting up a few more log piles so I can clear out a little bit of inventory, because at this point I need food. You'll notice the user HUD is slightly different to what you're used to. The here I am just filling up the filling this all up. The user HUD is, like I said, different. The red bar is your life, the green bar is your food, and the blue bar, strangely enough, is your thirst. This actually does introduce thirst. Now I'm going to be quiet at this because this next moment is a true, it's very very sad, but I love this moment and I'm so glad I got it on camera. What happens next? Double kill! I could not have planned that. I am so glad that got on camera. Right now I'm cheering my head off, but obviously you cannot hear it. Now as you can see, I got leather from the pigs, and I got a lot of it, and I only killed 2 pigs. There's another fruit tree. Like I said, there's a lot of fruit. You'll notice a lot of the animals are not moving around. You'll also notice that there's dirt on the floor instead of grass. It's a slight bug with the animals at the moment. Now what they are programmed to do is they've got their own food bar, so they do get hungry, and all of the animals eat grass, apart from obviously the carnivores, which actually go hunting now. So yeah, they will search out food and feed themselves up. The problem is, it seems to have bugged them out a little bit in that if they're not hungry, they generally don't move around much. I mean, it makes sense really. So they are working on that. They're also working on adding a lot of different other animals in. I know bears have already been added into this mod. Deer are planned. Basically all the usual animals you'd sort of find really. I'm looking forward to them adding things like birds and just general things that don't mean anything. It just makes the atmosphere a lot more fun. I do plan on, when this is when Atmos Mods is updated, to try and add that to this. I'm looking forward to that. Now at the moment I'm looking for clay. You need clay for a lot of different stuff. I'm not having much luck at the moment though. I do see a squid, and you do need ink sacs for quite a bit of things, so I take the opportunity to grab one. You can see you can collect the javelins back. They do sometimes break or get lost, so it's not always a guarantee, but they're pretty good weapons really. You can use them for close combat as well. They're not that good though. You're better off throwing them. So here's me just picking up a few bits of rocks and looking around, see if I can find any clay, and I can't. Clay can be difficult to find, but generally when you do find some, you've found a lot of it. So that's always a good thing. I see it's coming up to midday, so I've still got plenty of time. You'll notice there's a lot of other different sounds. I have got the Matmos mod installed, so it produces all the nice ambient sounds and that. This is me just checking out that this is gravel. So yeah, gravel. So the cows make different noises, so they'll huff, and you just get a much nicer feel to the world with it. Unfortunately, the Matmos mod doesn't like the fact that the terrain is very different to normal Minecraft. So it's not quite reading that this is dirt or this is stone or things like that, just because it's different, basically. If I do go underwater, you get to hear the very normal ambient sounds that you get when you're underwater. You'll hear it in a minute when I go after the ink sacs. I do love these squid, they look so cute. So yeah, as you can see, you can use it as a normal melee weapon, that's a word. So yeah, still no clay though, which is a real shame because yeah, clay is needed for a lot of things and a lot of early things as well. It got me very, very worried because if I could not find clay, I was going to have to move, and I got to admit, I've only been there for a little while, but I like the area. I mean, you've got that lovely flat area next to the water. You've got the big trees, plenty of animals around, and I've already found some metal. So there's some metal underneath the ground close by. So I decide I'm going to kill a cow or two, maybe two, just so I've got the resources, but I don't want to kill many because I really do need them when they're breeding. And this is clay. So I suddenly realise I haven't got a spade, so I make one, and this is what a spade looks like. Just like that, nice and easy, not difficult at all. So I make myself up a spade and I start working on the clay. Now, like I said, clay is used for a lot of different things. First off, I will be using it for it's for making clay molds. Now once they're fired in the campfire, which again I'll show you in a little bit, you see, you can then smelt the metal into it, because obviously you need a mould for the metal to go into. Now you'll see here the clay has actually got grass on it. This is again another thing, clay can have grass growing on it. There's plenty of people with clay soil in their gardens. So yeah, it just adds a little bit more how it would be. So yeah, I'm heading back now. I'm realising it's getting a little bit late and I do have enough clay for now. I won't need to make too much. I haven't even got enough metal in order to make a single ingot. So yeah, it's going to take quite a bit of surface metal to find. Now once you actually start digging down in the ground, then you can start finding larger deposits of metal and larger chunks of metal. But to start off with, you really struggle with getting your metal. Now the other problem is soil is affected by gravity quite strongly, and it doesn't just fall down, it falls in a sort of an avalanche, so it will fall to the side of things as well. So building out of soil is next to impossible. It's not gravel, cobblestone is also affected. See, here I am making a fire starter, and I'll throw some sticks on the floor once I've made a hole, because it's easier to throw things in the hole. But yeah, a lot of things are affected by gravity, so digging a mine is difficult because you end up getting cave-ins. So yeah, here's me using the fire starter in order to start a fire, and as you can see, it's made in there. I can access it and I'll start cooking. Now this is pretty much your furnace. You can't make furnaces in here, so I load it with a log, a couple of logs actually, and you can see the heat meter going up. Now the food is currently hot, and it will go through a lot of different stages of cooking until it is cooked. and then it will fall down to the bottom and basically be done. Now I cannot stack food in the top slot, it has to be one. It can stack at the bottom though, so I could leave that steak in there and it would go down, it would keep filling up that stack until it reaches a full stack. So yeah, I decided to cook up a bit more beef while I wait for the sun to go down enough for me to sleep. So this is my second day, and it turned out quite well. This is a very nice world that I found. I wasn't too sure about it when I first started off, but it's turning out to be quite nice. I'm looking forward to setting up a proper house so I can feel a bit safer and maybe do some work at night instead of just sleeping all the way through it. But yeah, so I shall see you next episode, hopefully with a much more active commentary where I'm actually playing at the same time, but with luck this hasn't been too bad. Okay then, I'll see you next time.